B looks a little bit different from the anime. Oh, my Fox says I never Fox. This is Sandland the series. I'm only reviewing from episode 1 to 6. Hopefully it doesn't spoil anything. I'm trying to do it from the arcs, I guess, and also that way I don't have to watch the entire thing and I can get the video out quicker. Also, I already pre-ordered the video game, or not pre-ordered. I ordered the video game. It's already out. It should hopefully be here in a few days, maybe a week. I don't know. But yeah, so I'll do an unboxing of that. But let's look at the trailer real quick, and then we'll get into the actual thing. Ready, set, let's go. Original story by Akira Toriyama. Which, I guess, I don't know if this is his last story. I think this might be the last series he worked on. And, FYI, I love Akira Toriyama. Dragon Ball Z is one of my favorites for stuff like world building, the power-ups. Hell, the reason why a lot of shows I love, like the Owl House, stuff like that, and, other shows now have super forms is because of Akira Toriyama, because of Dragon Ball Z. And I will say, though, I wonder if he ever, I kind of wonder, if, not resented it, really, but, because, you gotta think, Akira Toriyama, biggest known thing is Dragon Ball, I want to say, even though, yes, he definitely worked on Dragon Quest, because I remember looking at Dragon Quest 8 and be like, this looks like Goku. Also, at some point, I want to stream Dragon Ball, or is it Dragon Quest? Is it Dragon Quest? Wait, am I getting the names mixed up? No, yeah, Dragon Quest, yeah. I want to stream Dragon Quest, especially Dragon Quest 8, because that was the first Dragon Quest game I ever touched, and I'm like, I don't want to play this. This is RP, and that's for nerds. And honestly, it looks kind of awesome. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah. I love the character design. That's the reason why I tried playing it. I rented that from the Blockbuster store. Or rented from Blockbuster. But in any case, there's Akira Toriyama stuff, and he always has a specific art style and specific thing, and I'll get more into it. Let's just get into this. This is Captain Shiva. He's stronger than you. I watched it in English, FYI. Told me what true strength is. Animation Sunrise, Kamikaze Toga, and in Anima. Wait, Anima as in the animal ones? Oh, wait, what? They had an anime? I've come to seek help from you demons. This is about the Fiend Prince. What's your business here? I need help finding a legendary spring. Legendary spring? What's that? The king's self-serving nature means we must find the spring ourselves. Can't be the symbol. It's the royal army. They breathed your last. General Shima! I will never forgive you. And, I want to say this right now, people were complaining, at one point, saying, animation never goes CGI, it should always stay, 2D animation. I like this anime a lot. And honestly, I think it does it really well, where it mixes 2D and 3D very well. The main cast, 90% of the time, is CGI. But because of how they style the CGI, and, the filters, whatever, and to make it look like Akira Toriyama's, like outlines of that, really makes it stand out. Makes it look really good. Sandland, the series. This is the ending of the first arc. But just for an idea of what this is about, pretty much Sandland, Sandland, as far as I can tell, is a large desert country that is very low on water. It does not have any water. The river dried up years ago. It's ruled by a king and his military, and the king sells water to its occupants. The general here, which we don't really know his name till the sheriff here, which we don't really know his name later till being General Shiva. After a demon, because there are demons that live in this desert, steals some water, but then shares it with a kid. He goes to the demons and asks for help after seeing a water finch, knowing water finches go to, large bodies of water to drink. The finch, so he's like, I need demons. I know there's some demons here who want to help me. And we can find this legendary spring that will help us, that will, we can share. That way humans can have water again and not have to pay absorbent prices that the king is charging, and, demons can, get water as well. And they don't have to steal for it. That's where he then meets the demon prince Beelzebub. And I don't actually... Oh, yeah, right here. And also his friend Thief, which Beelzebub is older than both of these guys. Thief is actually young for a demon, or younger than a demon. And then obviously this man's maybe in his 40s, 50s, but he's technically the youngest of the group. But pretty much this sets off a quest to go find the legendary springs, which they theorize maybe the legendary spring is where the king actually is getting all his water from. And surprisingly enough, that isn't actually the case. They eventually find the legendary spring. It's nothing oh my god, it's... Because there's a few anime, not saying it's a bad thing, but there are a few animes where it's oh yeah, we need to go search for the Philosopher's Stone. And it turns out when they find the Philosopher's Stone, after, seasons upon seasons, it's oh no, the Philosopher's Stone is actually evil. It takes the souls of people. We can't use that. Even though, then it's just a waste, and the Philosopher's Stone there would probably still be helpful, but, whatever, I guess. Just let the souls trapped in the stone be trapped there forever. Or the guy who wants to give up his life to help. Anyways. That being said, they do find the spring, but while it's on this adventure, they, slowly bond. They find... first they had a car, but after, a dragon almost eats their ass, they steal a tank. Which, I love Akira Toriyama's technology, because any technology or vehicles that he makes, it's I'm gonna make that sucker round. I don't care what. Tanks are usually squarish. Nah, screw that shit. Round. That thing needs to be like a ball. Ain't no angles in our technology. I kind of love that. I kind of would love to see Akira Toriyama's take on Kiryu or Mechagodzilla. I think it'd be kind of funny. But but yeah, so they steal a tank. The tank is kind of, they call it the Terrier tank after, spoilers, Shiva's wife. And pretty much they go trying to the south to find the spring. Things are revealed 30 years ago. Oh shit. 30 years ago, there was a great explosion that happened. That supposedly destroyed these people known as the Peachy, because Akira Toriyama cannot go a series without naming something after fruit. Or vegetables, or produce. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's something he's done that's not based off of fruit. But still, it's funny, going to Peachy, I'm And they're also the aliens looking, So it looks like there's aliens, demons, and humans, I think. Assuming the Peachy are aliens. But the Peachy, we find out Shiva was the commander in the army. General Shiva was a general in the army. And was ordered to kill off the Peachy, where they shot a tank into it, exploding whatever weapon they created, and and thus destroying that weapon pretty much nuked a large chunk of Sandland. Not like that's not the reason why Sandland is destroyed. Sandland is also kind of post-apocalyptic, I think. But sets off a nuke, destroys a nearby town where his family was, kills Commander Are, General Are, who's like a new commander 30 years later. His father in it. And we find out later from the demons like Beelzebub and Thief that the Peachy actually weren't making a weapon. They were making something that can actually generate water. And so they were trying to bring water back to Sandland. And she was like, what? And pretty much, like, multiple things are found out. This guy, I think his name is Zayu, Supreme Commander Zayu. He was the Supreme Commander back then, and now he is now still, but now he's a cyborg because he's in a orb thing, and, like, that's what's keeping him alive. And pretty much, like, he's sending all the militaries, like, Commander Are, I don't think you see Are in here, to go kill Shiva, who I do love. Like, it does avoid some tropes, some common tropes with, like, on the run against the government kind of thing. Like, for example, when these characters called the Swimmers, which are in the desert, which I'm like, did you guys ever swim before? But alright, there's the father who's like this big buff guy with a cap and like goggles and stuff. He's like, he airs him. Then there's his one son who has super sight, another son without a nose who's super fast, and another son who can shoot like really well with a cannon from miles away. I think that might be based off of old Chinese myth of like these brothers. If I'm remembering this correctly, I could be wrong, but I remember it was an old story I remember hearing where like there was like a set of brothers. I think one of them wanted to marry this one girl, but the father said, "You have to beat my trials to do this." And like each of the brothers had a different thing. Like one of them could see super far, one of them could hear super well, one of them had skin that couldn't be burned, and like they each switched out but they're all also like, you know, they all look the same, so they all of them switched out for each like test to eventually like beat all the tests. And the king and the father's like, what the hell? How the hell did he do this? How the hell did he do this? I think that might be that, but I don't know. But yeah, there's the Swimmers. There's this other banner group that kind of dresses like Beelzebub. And there is a sense that this world has been lived in, which is kind of interesting. Like, I don't know if like the game follows this story exactly or not. I guess I'll know when I play it. Or not, because there's stuff like the Swimmers know who Beelzebub is. Like Beelzebub has beat their ass before, which is really funny when they try to screw with them at one point, and Beelzebub just tracks each of them down, just running after them, and just to, not to kill them, just to bop them over the head, be like, stop it. Like each of them. He makes sure to get to each and every one and to bop each of them in the head. Also, Thief dresses up as Santa Claus to get people's, like, I don't know, to get stuff. I have no idea. But, yeah, Beelzebub is pretty funny. But, like, one thing I actually love about and the thing I want to say is, like, what I was saying about Dragon Ball for a second. Like, I love Dragon Ball Z, don't get me wrong, but I do feel like Akira Toriyama loved doing, like, the adventure road trip kind of thing. Which, mind you, it's a great thing. But, like, something, because, again, that's even how Dragon Ball started. The whole idea is that, you know, traveling across the world, this weird, wacky world, finding different, finding the Dragon Ball and stuff like that. Only till way later. Like, that's the thing, too. Like, like, Dragon Ball, the first manga set where Kid Goku up to what will eventually become Dragon Ball Z is pretty much, if I'm remembering correctly, a road trip movie, road trip stuff. A lot of it is a big ass adventure, you know, it's Journey to the West. But at some point, it's like in a video game where you reach level 99, and then like instead of resetting back to level 1 for the sequel, they just kept going. And so to the point where it's like, yeah, we can't really do road trip anymore because, you know, Goku can fly. Goku can fly and they can teleport and all this stuff. And that's when they more focused in on fighting. When they focus more in on on physical combat and chi blast and all that stuff. But even then, even though Dragon Ball GT isn't Akira Toriyama, they did try to at least bring Dragon Ball back to that idea of, let's travel the world. Let's travel to different worlds now. Akira Toriyama's writing, I think, works really well with that too. It works with both. But I think he likes these adventure-esque stories, which this works really well with Sandland, because you have that too. Also, I love this too because it's Beelzebub definitely 100% has the whole fighting, fisticuffs kind of thing, although he only really does it till the very end. Does the whole fisticuff thing and channeling the power of darkness, which makes him even stronger and channels it, but we don't really see much of that other than physical powers and punching in one burst of energy. But we see different combat from we see stuff from tank combat, where also I love how these tanks are designed too, where they're very small, but they're also kind of spacious on the inside, where they can open these up to get air, but then close it up when needed. But there's tank combat in between certain things. There's gunplay, Shiva at one point, just having a gunfire shoot, bam, 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 it's dodging both, and it feels even an end boss kind of thing with a floating enemy at the very end also. And then there's stuff being chased by a giant sand dragon, fighting these bug things at one point. This, I don't know how the game plays. I imagine it's probably gonna be something like Dragon Ball where it's turn-based. And I don't know. I'm gonna start streaming that after I finish Crisis Core, which I think I might be able to get done pretty quickly because I took some time to do a bunch of side missions before my next streams. That way I could get a lot of side missions that way, so I can focus on story. And I might have leveled up a little too far, but that being said, I said too, because there's definitely different things you could see with this, and the King's Army is somewhat reminiscent of something let's say the Red Ribbon Army, even down to some old guy creating bug-like soldiers to fight the demon that is one powerful enemy. Also, at one point, Beelzebub just starts posing like he's in the Ginyu Force. It's kind of great. But yeah, the animation is really good. Even some things when you have Thief walking around, it kind of reminds you of when they rotoscope stuff, for the Lord of the Rings rotoscope movies. It kind of reminds you a little bit like that kind of movements. I'm not sure if they had someone do the movements following the dots or whatever on the suit, but motion tracking. But it was actually really good animation again, and it's really cool again, seeing stuff where it's Akira Toriyama's art style, but also at a much lower level. It's not just and mind you, that's not saying in the sense of I dislike Dragon Ball Z with its combat and everything. Every time I watch one of the new movies, I'm by God, I love Dragon Ball Z. Whether it be Broly Super, which got me way back into Dragon Ball, Superhero, Dragon Ball Superhero, and everything else. Every time I watch Dragon Ball, I'm I get way into that, especially those fights and stuff like that. So there's nothing against that in this too, and also I do like this also because unlike Dragon Ball, they don't at least unlike the anime, they don't draw a fight out for a stupid amount of time, or they don't draw out a plot line for too stupid long. Because honestly, I ain't gonna lie, for 6 episodes, they covered a shit ton of plot, which I feel like Dragon Ball would have made the 6 episodes last 36. I ain't gonna lie. Me and my sister are watching One Piece, and I'm looking at these, and I'm and then after watching live action, and I'm you could have cut some shit. You could have narrowed this down a little, just a bit. I feel like you didn't need to be this extended long, and I'm pretty sure the manga isn't even that long for those certain arcs and stuff like that. But, you know. But that being said, this was cool. I like the whole thing with certain revelations that are done. And I read a little bit of what the next title is. I kind of wish I didn't, because it would have been cool to just come in blind. But I'm guessing there's angels? Which, here's the thing. I love a good demon. Don't get me wrong. Demons are great. That being said, I also really like angels. Like, angels are really, really interesting to add to some things. And I kind of want to see how they're going to play around with angels. Because already I think we're demons, which demons are varied greatly in this. They're really like more yokai in this than demons. But, except for Beelzebub. Which also, Beelzebub's dad is like, if you told me this is the future of Dragon Ball, it wouldn't surprise me because, hold on. Yeah, here it is. Beelzebub's dad is straight the demon guy from Dragon Ball. Is that him? I've heard everything you can help him. Yeah, because his dad already knew everything about. Oh, he's reading Foul Stage. I just realized that. He already knew, like, you know, about when the human came and all this stuff. So, like, he let B go with him to get on the to help with this. But, like, yeah, it said Lucifer, the great demon. I'm like, like, that's just the dude from Dragon Ball. In Sandland, Akira Toriyama would have guessed in 2023, we'd be closer. PS6 to science fiction believed. Also, wait. Father Dabaru. It is Dabaru. It has to be Dabaru. Also, we're knowing that next Dragon Quest in Dragon Ball Quest 12, so quite possibly we will see Dragon Quest 13 on PlayStation 6. Akira Toriyama is a time traveler because the edition of this manga is 2023. But, no, yeah, it looks like Dabaru. It straight looks like him. Like, it's not even like, oh, maybe they're similar just because of the art style. No, it looks straight like him. Demons aren't the bad guys. Tanks, and more tank. Wait, is this actually in the game? Takes some inspiration from Toriyama's other series. No shit. Himself, popular as Sandland was... Wait a minute. He had established himself as a talented, popular artist well before Sandland. Oh yeah, no shit. One of the created was Dr. Slump and Dragon Ball. And Dragon Ball was Pink. Pink was about a girl who is a bandit that steals water from an organization called the Silver Company. Sandland seems to take a little inspiration from his Pink series, as both worlds are from long-term drought and have main characters who steal water from a corrupt organization. Similarities between Sandland and some of Toriyama's other mangas. Yeah. The setting, it's getting an animated film. Announcement at Sandland RPG is announced 2022. Adapted. I'm going to go ahead and guess it's probably going to be turn-based. Tanks, and more. Tank Toriyama complained about how difficult it had been for him to draw the tanks. Though he was frustrated by it, he had developed the stories too far to take them out. So the difficulty, tanks become a main feature in Sandland around Chapter 3, when Rao and Beelzebub still want to continue their journey to Phantom Lake. There's a lot of driving in the tank and tank combat, which is something that included in the game. Okay, nice. What's it about? Yeah, so... But yeah, that being said, like, again, that's straight to Baru, right? Like, that, like, if you told me this is the future of Dragon Ball's universe after Goku dies and the Dragon Balls were destroyed and so they couldn't fix it, like, that makes sense, right? The Peachy are actually the Salads, or whatever the hell they're called, that originally ruled Planet Vegeta. Hold on, if I put Sandland Dabar, I just probably spelled that wrong. Dabura. Yeah. Also, it wouldn't surprise me if. And also, here's another thing too. This is very old fashioned uh, manga anime too. At least it feels like it a little bit. Because again, like one, it's much smaller scope, I guess. Kind of in a sense where like, it's very lower thing where B hasn't become a god yet, which, it's starting off. But like you also have the dad just in the throne, just chilling, which I'm like, yeah, I've seen this before. The manga series, Nora has a character who's very much like that, and then it turns out like they're a freaking badass. Like even the character reading a book that they like because it's usually like a old cliche that they had. Hey, look, it's the Millennium Throne. But yeah, I don't know. This also another reason why I play Dragon Quest. Here, apparently they become freaking you become Super Saiyan at one point when you have a high enough tension, I guess. Once the pros, him reusing designs was the hero of Dragon Quest 5, 8, having the same hairstyle as Goten at the end of Z. I always wondered what his Super Saiyan hero looks like, and now I know when hero reaches super high tension. Yeah, I want to play that game. But yeah, this anime so far is pretty good. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen next. Actually, hold on a minute. I wouldn't say this is exactly as old as Dragon Ball, but like this character right here, who is kind of like the main character, at least his like stepmom almost kind of. Like she's very silly character, and then she eventually clocks in. But yeah. It is cool. I like it. I want to see what... I'm pretty sure this girl is going to be like the angel. Or something like that. And again, I want to see how they're going to tie angels into this. Is it just angels are there like demons are? Because demons are just like a different race. And like there's a whole thing in the story about like, demons aren't actually evil. That's just them being racist assholes. Like literally we're dying out here too without water. But then, like, an idea is like, then how are angels in this? Are they just like a separate race? Or is there a whole thing with angels? That's kind of the point. That's kind of the thing I want to see. But tell me, actually, technically speaking, Beelzebub is an angel if you go by, at least in the in the context of like demonology stuff like that. Beelzebub is technically an angel because she would be a fallen angel that fell with Lucifer, versus her just being a born demon or something like that. In any case. Thanks for watching your videos I've done. Thanks for Facebook edition. Where actually, let me just before I actually do end this, let me check my notes to make sure everything is good. Water storages, King of the Lands, just straight up Dabaru, dinosaurs. Yep. To that, Akira Toriyama can just put dinosaurs, demons, and stuff, and humans all in the same world and be like, yeah, that makes sense. It's the some of his art style and everything else. It's just the swimmers. The king talking about conspiracy. Oh yeah, the king at one point like goes to Zao because like it was Zao or whatever the hell his name's idea, and the king straight out like and be like, yeah, it's your job to get this fixed, like that. And what happened 30 years ago, like whatever, being thrown out, and it's just like you're saying this out loud, man. Come on. They made bug people, terrier tank. Shiva executed him. Swimmers below. I will say that I think Shiva should have blown the head off this one dude, but whatever. But in any case, this is good. I liked it. Tell me something else below. Thanks for watching. If your videos I've done, links are on my Facebook. There's some subscription buttons around this one. Appreciate your videos. Hopefully you enjoy this. Definitely want to see what's going to happen next, and we will. See you later. Demons and angels and humans. Oh boy. Also in Owlwolf Town, like just FYI, there is that's my whole little own anime story. I already have an area called the Black Desert that has the Demshons who live there. Just FYI, I thought that up a long time ago. Just say.